Hi everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. How are you? So welcome today to our day of the heart. I'm totally in blank, so be patient. So the first thing that I would like to say, and I think it's important to understand from this, from the point of view of biology, is that when we speak about the heart in the spirituality or in the consciousness path, we usually speak of the heart as the main source of the energy, like the portal to everything. And we kind of say that we can connect to the universe with the heart, as if the universe has also a source that is like the heart of the universe. And we have this concept of saying that the universe has a core, a heart, which is the main center of the universe. But actually, when you go into biology, you will understand that the heart is not the center from where everything emerges. It's not the place where everything comes from and goes to. The heart is basically a place where life goes through. It's the organ that impulses the will of life, but it's not the place that creates life. So it's important to know this about the heart, which is a place of exchange, not the main source. En la biología no hay un único centro. No hay un centro donde todo viene y a donde todo va. En la biología todo es importante. Todo funciona orgánicamente y todo tiene una función concreta. Y más allá de que algunos son centros vitales para el cuerpo, no significa esto que sean los originales. So in biology, we can understand that there is no organ or system that is much more important than the other one. There is no a core of everything. Even if there are organs that are much more important because they allow life, it doesn't mean that life exists because of them. It means that they are useful for life. So as you see, the heart is very important, but it's not the most important, because in biology everything is important, and the body is so perfect. The structure of biology is so perfect that when we that through all these centuries and many years, we have been saying that the body is like the darkest part, like the heaviest part, and that we have to go to the spiritual world. And sometimes we just say that we have to detach to the body from the body, and that it's just the flesh that contains the real divinity. But when we start to take a look into biology, you will start to understand that it's much more than just physical. It's perfect. And I invite you to pay real attention to what we are speaking this week, because we might be expecting the beauty of the universe in other dimensions, in the spiritual realm. But when we look into our own bodies, we see the perfection. We see something that we can even imagine that happens in the entire universe. It's so amazing. And it's happening right inside of us. It's so close to us that we cannot see it. If we pay attention to our biology, we can understand the entire universe. So biology is perfect. It's like understanding the entire universe. When you start to look at it, it's so complete that you can understand the function of the entire cosmos, of how reality works, just by looking into the body. And so this is my advice when we start to follow the spiritual path. When we start to follow the consciousness, awareness, I would advise or recommend to all of you to take a deep look into the biology, into your own body, because there you can find even much more information of how the entire universe than in spirituality. So sometimes when we see the perfection in our biology, we usually start to think about there should be a creator, someone that created because it's so perfect. And this is a very common thought for us because we, with our mind, used to create things. We used to make things. We do technology, and we look at it like as perfection. So we usually think, whoa, it should be someone that is really clever to have created this biology. And something that we don't pay attention to is that we were not created in our life since we were just in the womb. We were not made by anyone. It was the conjunction and the interaction of cells, of neurons, of pulses that created all this. So it's not an outer mind that designs what we are. It's the same design that projects the mind. It's the biology, the ones that create the creator. So this is why we cannot say that there is one organ that is fundamental for the rest to exist. We can understand that every cell, every aspect of our being is important for us to be what we are. Throughout all these thousands of years, what we have done is to set the body in a place that we don't like too dense. So we were willing to connect to the divine, but this was exactly what separated us from everything. Not to look into our bodies, not to look into the divinity of our biology, separated us from everything, because we started to put the creator into something outside. And that's why we started to get out of our axis, being out of what we are. So this is important in the initiative that we are taking. that when we start to say, take a look towards the inside, it's not only about looking for the spirit within. It's about biology, to understand the body that you are, the divinity that you have within. We have to remember that the body is the extension of the spirit. It's not the shell where the spirit gets in. So as you see, this system that is perfect is in constant exchange, is sharing by symbiosis all the data constantly, and it does it through positive and negative, through waves of energy that share, give and receive data. So this expansion in the cosmos of giving and receiving, of those who have and those who doesn't have, and the need of share in order to find the balance, is what gives birth to the system that we call circulatory system. The circulatory system is born not because of the heart, but the heart is born because of the need of exchange. The universe starts to exchange information, positive and negative. It starts to share these attributes of energy and matter. And eventually, through thousands and millions of years, it starts to develop in a very much complex way. So it needs an order and a system that helps it to do it much more harmoniously. So this is what gives birth to the impulse of energy. Some tiny cells that will push the energy towards the other cells. So as bigger it is, and complex it is, the being, the cells will organize in such a way that they can push the energy and the liquid towards many directions, so it can reach every corner of the body, towards every cell. So this is how we start to get what we call the heart. The heart is the organ, the conjunction of cells that will be the distributors, is the engine that distributes all the information, all the data, everything that is needed, but it doesn't choose what to spread along. It just spread with unconditionality. It doesn't decide what to share. It just shares. So the heart is not deciding who receives what. The cells are the ones deciding what they need. The cells know what they need, and they start to send the signals through the nerve system to the brain. The brain receives the need and it sends the data to the heart. The heart interprets the data and starts to push harder, so all the resources reach faster and better to the corners needed. So if we want to build a civilization based in harmony and coherence, we have to pay attention to this. That the main important parts of the body, like the brain, the heart, are not deciding over the cells about what they need. They don't say, I will give you this because I know that you just need this. The cells know what they need, and they administrate how much they need. The heart just pulses, bringing everything, and the cells absorb what they need, and once they got everything that they need, they just send the rest of it to the torrent of blood again. And that's it. The system is honest. Not because the organ decides, but because the cells know what they need. So the cells, in order to work like that, they must know who they are, what are their goal, the purpose on life. Otherwise, they would just administrate they would just take energy without knowing any purpose for what for am I receiving all this information, this energy. And that's what makes a cell to turn into a tumor, into a cancer. That's why when a cell knows itself, it knows exactly what they need. So this works perfectly in our body when the cells know what they need. For example, when you eat, you for sure feel like tired after you eat, because the digestive system is receiving all the blood because the cells need energy to work. So everyone in the body knows that. So nobody questions that. They all know that the blood must go to the stomach and the intestine. That's it. And the rest just wait. And once they finish the work, the blood goes to other parts of the body. So sometimes someone needs less, and other ones needs a lot, and it goes up and down. So imagine that the body works with the capitalistic idea of economy. So that would mean that the heart administrates the money. So all the blood goes to the heart and stocks there, and the heart decides where to put the money, where to put the blood, according to how good it seems the organ to ask for the money. So imagine that the eyes are the ones that can show the paperwork to the heart to take the money, to take the blood. So the heart will be always giving blood to the eyes. So eventually what would happen? First, you will have a heart attack because too much blood and it can break the heart. And of course, your eyes would explode because of the pressure. So we are living eventually this, we usually live these kind of things in the capitalistic way of living, which is what we call economic crisis. And in the other hand, we have the communism. The communism and economy, if we put the system in our body, the heart will say, I will administrate all the blood, I will bring all the blood to the heart, and I will say that every cell in the body will have the precisely exact amount of blood for every cell. So I share with every cell exactly the same amount of blood. We die. Why we die? Because we don't have nothing to share. There are cells that says, I'm not needing this amount of things of blood that I am receiving. And there are other cells that will say, I am drowning, I need oxygen. I need oxygen to work. I don't have enough to do what I have to do. We wouldn't be able to eat, to reproduce, to think, anything. That's the communism in our body. So, and then we can have a central point of view, much more socialism in the center. So the heart in that case would be like, I allow the organs to take decisions, to have their own economy, to decide how to produce their own economy, but I will administrate the money. I will say how much the things cost. I will decide this costs this. I will decide that to protect the other cells that they are not producing, that they don't know how. So sometimes I will take some blood from the organs that produce, and I will give it to the cells that doesn't produce. So we all kind of have the same. That would be socialism in an idea. So I let you do what you are doing, but I will take you as much as I can to give to the other cells that are not doing nothing right now. That won't kill you. Of course not. That won't kill you. It can kind of work. But you will be always exhausted, tired, because you won't have the oxygen all the time, because it's like if difficult to take decisions. It's difficult to accomplish a mission, a goal for the body if the heart is taking the blood for everybody. So also not working. Every system in which the heart or the brain decides over the cells of what to give and what to receive is a system destined to failure. Because the heart and the brain, they are not administrators of what the cells need. They are just a middle point that pushes for the cells to keep going and moving. This is why we have to see how the circulatory system works in order to try to heal the economy in our systems. I'm not going to go deeper into this because I explained it properly in the blog, in the post. First of all, the circulatory system, why it exists. It is there to the distribution of resources. The heart distributes, but here we have to understand something here. The distribution of wealth, of resources. This is something that in socialism we can hear a lot. We have to distribute the resources of the planet because they are not well distributed. The conflict there with this sentence is that someone decides how to distribute that. So there is someone that will decide who needs more or less. And that's the mistake. In biology, it doesn't work like that. The heart doesn't decide where to send the blood. The resources are the cells that has to produce something in order to receive the energy. The cells need to produce something in order to receive. So if you are not producing, if you're not doing anything, the blood interprets, you don't need me. You cannot absorb me. So it's not about distribution of wealth that the heart decides. Is the heart just making a distribution? That's it. It facilitates the distribution. The thing is, what is the heart distributing along the body? The heart is distributing blood. What is blood? Is the resource that is divided into concepts. The liquid one, which is the plasma, and the physical one, which is the red cells, in charge of taking the oxygen and the carbon dioxide. Then the white cells that are in charge of the immunological system of the blood, that are looking for all the anticorps, all the invasor corps in the blood. And then we have the plaquettes, you say in English, I don't know. There are these cells that are not useful anymore for the structural being, but they are useful to reconstruct the broken parts. Okay, so like wounds or something like this. Platelets. Okay. And of course, all the nutrients like proteins, vitamins, minerals, and also virus and bacteria. It all moves there. So now the blood. We have the blood. Where it comes from, the blood. The white and red cells, they come from the spine. They come from inside the bones. So there is produced the main content of blood inside the bones. So imagine that it's really important to understand that the structure of the body, the physical structure, is the one that produces what we need for the blood. So the bones produce that content that goes into the torrent of the blood. Then all the nutrients. From where do we take the nutrients? From the digestive system, because the intestine, they absorb all the nutrients and bring it to the blood. So it starts to be spread inside the blood through the intestines, all the nutrients. And of course, we need oxygen for the function of the cells. And from where it comes from? The lungs. As you see, the white and red cells, the nutrients, and the oxygen, they don't come from the heart. They come from every one of the other organs and they are absorbed by the capillary veins, the tiny little arteria and veins that surrounds every organ. They absorb that, goes to the torrent, and the heart pushes and pushes all the time. So it allows everything to move around, but it's not producing, not administrating anything. It's just pushing, distributes everything. An important thing to understand is that the heart, in order to do all this distribution, needs autonomy, to be self-sufficient, to take its own decisions. So this is why the heart has also neurons. Not only the brain has neurons. The brain has neurons specialized into thinking and administrating information and do everything we know it does. But the heart has its own autonomy, decides by itself whether it's time to do it faster or slower, or how to move by itself. So this is why the heart not only feels, the heart also thinks. We can think through the heart. The same thing happens in the intestine, but we will speak about that tomorrow. The entire system of distribution is done by the arteria receiving the information, receiving all these nutrients, oxygen from everywhere, distributing everything. And then the veins are the ones that grab all the things that are not needed, like the carbon dioxide, and bring it through the torrent. So the arteria distributes the nutrients and oxygen, and the veins receive that to take it away, So I don't know if you knew this, but the blood is red because because it has the red cells, they receive the oxygen, and of course the iron of the blood is rusted by the oxygen. So it's like Mars that is red because it's it got rust. So our blood all does the same because of the oxygen that it takes. So because of oxygen, is red. It's rust. So someone was asking about the old people. What if this system is about projects and the system doesn't give energy to those who are not producing? So what happened with the old ones, with the people that cannot do anything? So basically, this is the role of the platelets, because they know how the shape was. So it is, of course, reconstructing because they know how to do it, because they lived how it was before. They are used to reconstruct systems. So remember this, that the idea that a person stops producing when it's retired, it's part of a horrible system that we have, believing that people kind of are obsolete when they get older because they cannot produce for the system. And in the biology system, it doesn't work like that. So a person is productive from the very beginning of its life until the very end. So there's no this kind of things of there's nothing to do after. So it's just a belief of the system. And of course, we have the other part of the circulatory system, which is the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system basically is like another part of the circulatory system that goes all along in the body, and that absorbs all the liquid that is storage in between the cells. So this system is kind of like absorbing all the rest of liquid that, like the lipids, that starts to accumulate in between cells to clean the entire body from these things that we don't need. And of course, it's very useful for the immune system because it takes all the weird things that are storage in the cells, it takes them all away and brings it to the ganglions in the how do you call it exactly? The ganglions. Okay, to the ganglions, it brings it all there and accumulates to clean, to make a purge of the body. So it helps also the immunological system doing a complete cleaning of the system. So it's the cleaning system. So this is the circulatory system, and I hope eventually one day the economy will work like that. The vibration for today is Chi. The statement for today is I am channel between souls. Taking in account that the products of the blood, the plasma, is taken as the soul of our system. Taking in account that the products of the blood, the plasma, is taken as the soul of our system. The code for today is the reproductive system. In animals that have evolved through sex as a way of exchanging genes and improving the options of adaptability in changing environments, the reproductive system is fundamental for transcendence and continuity, divided into the masculine and feminine systems. The first one represents the cosmic pattern, asteroids and comets, that in humans are testicles and prostate, that produce the nutrients and productive cells. The second one is the system of the cosmic matrix, worlds, planets, and suns, that we call ovaries, uterus, and their cells called ovules. Let's go to alignment. Sit comfortable, close your eyes, and concentrate in your breathings. I take a deep breath and become aware of the body that I inhabit. I take a deep breath and start to stretch the body, yawning, massaging, caressing, moving the joints in circles very softly and slowly. Becoming aware of every part of the body, from the feet to the head. I go massaging from the feet, becoming aware of every muscle, bone, and organ. I try to feel as if I am discovering the body for the first time. And I recognize which parts of my body makes me feel uncomfortable, annoying me, and which ones makes me feel pleasure. I allow myself to touch the genitals without feeling ashamed of it. The anus, if I can. Recognizing which part of my body I like, which ones I don't. And I caress the body as if it is the body of the person that I love. Caressing the face, the lips, the hands. Take a deep breath. Softly, I take my hand, one to my chest, trying to find the heartbeat of my heart, touching on the skin with the palm of my hand. And with the other hand, I go to my neck to find the pulse of the beat. I take a moment to feel, to recognize the beat, to align myself with the pulse, with the rhythm. As I connect with the pulse, I become aware of the flow of life within me. I become aware of this exchange of energy, the giving and receiving, the flow of my soul within, bringing me life. And I recognize that every time that I feel nervous, I just have to find this pulse and heartbeat and take a deep breath. So recognize and reconnect with my soul. I am a channel between souls. I am a channel between souls. I am a channel between souls. I have the resources in me. I have. Take a deep breath, relax your hands, and each one at its own time, come back here and now. And I take this energy, I put it into the water, and I pour the water on the seeds and plants that we have sowed. Thank you everybody for being here another day. And as always, see you tomorrow at the same time.